Going live. Done. Hello everybody. I don't know what is best breakfast, doesn't matter much. I'm back with Atcoder hard streams. They will be sometimes in the middle of a week, not necessarily every single week because they are very difficult. I don't get a lot of views, but still, I sometimes need to practice if I still want to be in shape. Today is Atcoder Grand Contest 54 and I don't know any problems, but I will start from D. I think D and E, those are two problems that are very difficult, but doable. And then F is like unsolvable. I don't know the statement, but looking from the difficulty, I didn't see standings, I saw the checklist. I even have it here, this thing. So we see time when I did a lot of upsolving of Atcoder, it's this period, and now I'm slacking behind. So yeah, from this contest, this says solve probability 19%, solve time 79 minutes. So I wouldn't likely solve it during a contest, but both should be doable. That's the plan. Ox, and if I have enough time, then also zigzag break. I will stream for 2 hours, maybe more. We'll see how it goes. D. Given a string. Later, every X will be replaced with this, every O with that. We want this to represent balanced parenthesis string. All right. If opening and closing brackets, if the number of them is the same, then it's indeed possible. Is it? What if it's just X? Oh, non-zero. Okay, I didn't see that. Can't we simply remove the O's in the final string as they are balanced itself? I think you're right, Timothy. Yeah, okay. First step, we remove all the O's. So then just we have this and X's. I'm sure that this is a standard problem if you have just opening and closing brackets. Let's solve that first. If you have opening and closing brackets, how do you move them around to make it balanced? As you go through the prefix, there can be DP. Do I need DP? Why do I need DP? Or just greedy? If something is wrong, then swap to neighbors. Wait, close, close, close. If in some prefix we have too many clauses, then I need to move open outside of this prefix, and there is just one way to do it. Just grab the nearest one. Yeah. Greedy will work for just opening and closing brackets. You don't need DP. Oh, what about swaps? All right, so O do not affect the answer, but they can make it harder for us to move around. So O serve as a block. Like it blocks us from doing operation HTTP. Okay, so algorithm shooter is right. We cannot just ignore O's. They need to be there. It's more like just, you know, a white space, something like that. It is there. It just makes it's harder to move things around. No. Because of low constraints, I want to try DP. 10 seconds. Maybe quadratic time complexity should be fine if very fast. I have a prefix. I think I need to open something for nodes, but it won't require a lot of drawings, will it? Not this one. Not. Obviously this moves right, not left. This moves right. O doesn't move? That's not true. I can say that O doesn't move, just other things move through O. So yeah, O mod doesn't move, and X. For any one type, I could say that it doesn't move and just other things move through it, including this thing. I can say those don't move. Maybe it would be beneficial to say those don't move and then everything else moves to the right. But I believe that X can move either direction. If so, in particular, X cannot be at the very beginning and at the very end. So yeah, it must be able to move in either direction. But if so, I would prefer to say X doesn't move. Maybe that's better. But then O, I see, then O moves in either direction. That's sad. Educational videos on your channel. Yes, I am going to do that. So again, some information about the stream today. I'm back to streaming Atcoder hard problems. It's something very, very difficult. If you're not in Codeforces Division 1, you will have a hard time following what is going on. Those are problems that are very challenging for me and also for other strong people. It's often harder than Codeforces Division 1 problems. So don't treat this as something beginner friendly where I will describe an algorithm to you. But welcome if you want to watch. X doesn't affect the balance. So the only issue with X is if it's on such a position that the balance was 0 a moment ago. And then X temporarily moves it to -1 and then up. If this closing bracket makes the balance to be equal to 0, then there are some neutral O's, then there is X, then this is bad, maybe there is another X, and then let's say there is closing bracket. What do I do with that? Well, X doesn't matter here because of this closing bracket, and it seems reasonable to now move something opening from here to the left. Why can't I just say that those move to the left? Do those need to move right? They move left, so they will change with those anyway. O versus this. Well, jumping through O doesn't matter. This versus that. Well, if X moves, it can move through that. So I can say no. Yes. Oh, but then same for X. If this guy can move left, it can move to the left of X. Then why X should move right? I think I can say that this moves only in one direction or that this doesn't move. Do I want to say that this moves to the right of X? Yes, that's needed. So I can say, what happens if I say moves right? That cannot move left. But why do we move left? Only to be changed with this guy. Why? Okay, why doesn't? What about this? X, if X is at the end, the only way for us to fix it, the only way how we want to fix it is to move this guy. But can it happen that it's easier to move X? Yes. Or maybe no. I might want to implement a brute force here. Green stay. I would say 1500 rating is the lowest allowed. What's the difference between moving X here versus just moving this guy to the right? I feel like it's enough to just move around the brackets. Let's see with samples. I will move this left and then this right once, 3 moves. Move this twice, 2 moves. Okay, what now? Green stay. Oh, I see. So I see algorithm shooter. Will brute force be useful in any other way? Will I have other theories to test? Maybe use pen paper? What's the difference? Then next thing is, if this is true, then do I have a polynomial solution? D/E. Yes, I'm solving D, then I will solve E if I have enough time. Solve the sample? You mean this last one? I don't want to. 68, that's a huge number. No matter if I use the board or if I use paper, this is just too big. I can easily make a mistake. I will not find anything optimal. No, I didn't solve ABC. I just jumped to D. Let's assume for a moment that this is true. What is exponential solution? You can try all the moves. The recursive function that tries to make any move. Basically BFS through all the strings. Clay tablet and a stick. No matter what you use, I don't know how to do it greedily, then with any tools I cannot solve it unless with a brute force. It seems that this is DP of I. How many are moving left and how many need to move left? How many are moving right? Cubic time complexity. As I'm going to the left, some of those will move to the right. That's the number of those is this dimension, and then some number of things from the right I expect to move there. Oh, sorry, the other way around. This moves left. So this is about that, this, that. If you're asking questions, BFS is time limit exceeded, then sorry, but that's not the stream for you. And if this is a correct solution, and I don't know if that's correct, I don't know if it's okay to say that X doesn't move, then what can we do? There are so many hard Atcoder problems about getting rid of a dimension of DP, and it's always so difficult. Vector of indices of opening. Why opening? Why should I move opening index and not some of those other three types? So basically at every point the required height is at least 0. For X the required height is at least 1. Let's solve a problem without X's. In particular, I need to do that. Just with those. In quadratic time complexity. If prefix up to I is negative, has negative balance, then for sure I need to move something. And then I know that the sum of those two, it needs to be at least equal to this missing balance. Can I say that it's exactly this? I think so. So if initially from position 0 to 1 balance is -3, I think that through this position exactly 3 units will go. And if so, then those two dimensions then get down to just linear time complexity. So the total thing is quadratic. Yes, if I figure out a solution, I am going to code it. What if balance is positive though? Then can I claim I don't move anything? That's suspicious. I might want to move some of those can move to the right to help. Some of those can move from right to left to help. No, that's... yeah. I don't know why this would move to the left. So also I don't know why this would move. So lemma is if I'm looking at something like this thing, this thing, let's focus on just that. If up to somewhere, like up to here, the balance is positive, I claim that through this underscore position, nothing will go. Because why would it? There is no need for what can happen, moves to the right. Should this move to the right? Why? If we get below 0, it's because of something new. Then just move this thing to the right. And regarding those moving to the left, well, I don't need help. If there was temporary negative balance, then there will be something opening here. Yeah, it looks legit. Okay. We have a possible quadratic solution then. Let's see. Then I will just simplify it as moving, opening, moving right. But wait, won't this be just equal to the balance? Oh, that's now suspicious. No, because I mix between those moving right and closing brackets moving to the... Again, I messed up. What moves right is closing. There are two possibilities now. If balance is positive, or at least strictly positive, then closing move right is 0. Else closing move right is equal to minus the balance. And I don't know what happens if balance is equal to 0. And here similarly this might be this plus 1. So I might want to create balance equal to 1 just because there will be x nearby. So maybe like that. Where this means that we exceed balance and instead of 0 we want balance of 1. Doesn't matter if balance is anyway greater than 0. Extra is 0 or 1, and with something like this. How do I check this? I can try to simulate it. Let's see, maybe I can do it. This moves to the right, but I cannot just move things one by one. Also, this is x, so what do I do with that? Either I move this more to the left, or I move that more to the right, or I move this x around, for example here. And as well I can move this guy. Which option is better? I have no idea. Let's say we move this by 2. Then balance is 1, so everything is good. This is balance 0, and now this is bad. So at this position I need to move 3 things. Either closing brackets move to the right or opening brackets move to the left. I have no idea which one. I don't know how to analyze this sample. Seems slightly too easy to be on the problem of this slot, just slightly. I remember Atcoder hard problems as something so hard. Aniket, please stop writing with caps lock on. Foolish for recommending to solve the sample. Well, in many other problems it might be much easier to solve it. Atcoder. No, I will treat a little bit. Chat, do you think that my solution is correct? Continuous xxx is equal to 1x. Indeed, you are right, but I don't think that will help. Easier than expected? Yes, it is easier than expected. The stream is already 30 minutes, but still too easy. Oh, I again confirmed something that is wrong. No, xxx cannot be just converted to x, because maybe you want to move a bracket through all those x's. What do? We minimize, maximize? Minimize the number of operations. Oh. So everything should be infinity by default. They want a vector? No, I don't want a vector. It's so ugly to create a vector. Balance will be negative, but this thing will not. DP of I, extra, and closing, moving right. Okay. Everything should be defined as infinity. The last is 0. Yes, it is 0. I didn't think too much about transitions. That's bad. Nice, we have more than 100 viewers, 150 if we include YouTube. That's a lot. Hi everybody. Is it possible to solve this in n squared time complexity? I'm trying to, and those constraints are high. I'm afraid that even if I have proper time complexity, it might be slightly wrong. But it's not. This is not real n squared. Indeed, here we have times 2, but this for loop will be just up to I. Also, if closing moving right is close to n, then we could break as well. It shouldn't be that bad. GPU pass-through? I don't know. I don't remember how I set this up. I believe that the intended solution is n squared. It's more that I don't know if this is a correct solution. If it's okay to say that only brackets will move around. And then if so, then still is my DP correct? What transitions do we make? Oh, and the balance. When I look at the new character, should I say what happens with it? Guess so. At what point do I modify the balance? Somewhere I need... might be useful, but then I don't know where to use balance, when to update balance. Why not run it and see if it works? Well, I need to implement it, and I would prefer not to waste half an hour. Hence, I'm thinking whether it's correct or not. I agree that O and X never swap, but what about X versus other things? Or maybe this. It is reasonable to move X around, because at the beginning it's at the very end, and then you move through some O's. But instead, is it okay to just say that instead of that a closing bracket moves the same direction, the other direction, the opposite journey? Can we swap X with nearest opening bracket? I'm sure we can, but so what? We can do many things, and we don't know which one is optimal. No, we have a balance. We have this. I will maybe rename it as closing to right. No, I don't like it. Opening, moving left. This is equal to, if balance is greater than 0, then this should be 0 as well. Also, I believe that balance will be updated later, because this is the previous thing. Why don't I use VS Code? Why don't you use Genie? And those are opening, so they need to move to the left. I grab them from the future. When I'm looking at the new opening bracket, it improves the situation, but I need to then decrease this by 2. Opening minus minus, but that doesn't do anything. We will just move to DP of I plus 1, same extra, closing, moving right. Balance will increase by 1, and because of that, automatically keeping this constant will decrease opening. If I encounter this, I might mess up the balance. I might require more. Did I coordinate AGC52? No, I didn't coordinate any Atcoder round. Oh, Anton is here, and the question was to him. I see. Do I plan to upsolve 52? Yes, I do plan to upsolve that. I'm going in backwards order from the most recent contest. So assuming that I'm faster than new Atcoder grand contests appear, then yes, I will get to 52. This decreases the number of opening moving left, but maybe I still want some. No, this will be one of the taken ones. I see how this is not as easy as I thought. Maybe I should first implement it in cubic time complexity, with both moving right and moving left. Not must, might. I don't know what to do with extra. By default, if I do nothing, this number should decrease by 1. No, that's not true. But if this number doesn't change, but the balance changes, so something decreases by 1. Because I said that closing moving right plus those moving left, opening moving left, they in total give us the balance. So what happens when the balance changes? Maybe I should say that closing moving right increases by 1. Because I have this one, but then I can of course drop it. So this is if this starts moving to the right. Then actually independent from this fact, I can drop something here or not. Drawings. At least some doodling. Again, the same question, the OX and close X. I don't know why you're asking that. What do you mean? OX is valid. I don't see what you mean by OX not forming a balanced parenthesis. We have balance 0 up to here. No, this doesn't require anything. This will. Maybe let's say that balance up to something is equal to -3. And then we are looking at the next character. So there are such type moving left, such type moving right. And the total shift is equal to 3 to make balance equal to 0, unless there is X here. Unless maybe among those O's there is at least one X. If we assume that we don't move X, then should I say something in that case? I don't like, or maybe I do like that. If balance here is -3, let's say that this is another closing bracket. So here balance is equal -4. How do I make that happen? Does it mean that this balance actually should be changed to +1? If I move this to the right, then yes, it improves both this guy and this one. But it's one of those 3 things that are required to fix this up to 0. If this is X, then I need it here. Did I? Maybe I should move X's. No. Between every 2 positions, the balance must be at least 0, and before X's, the balance must be at least 1. If somewhere the balance is positive, it will stay like that. I'm not going to improve or mess it up. Does it mean that if somewhere balance is equal to +2, I can just split this string into 2 parts and solve them independently? Okay, so always balance is 0, or balance is 1, or balance is positive and equal to whatever is here. and if it's positive, including 1? No, not including 1. Then what can happen when we look at x? Well, we can enter x only if something. If extra greater than 0 is only possible if balance is 0 or smaller. If balance is +1, there is no reason to have balance +2. Okay, that's first thing. Then, if balance plus extra smaller equals 0, continue. But what happens if balance is -5? And that's perfectly allowed. That's balance in the input, but I'm here to fix it. Maybe more like this. If balance is negative and extra is equal to 1, that's fine, because it means I actually have balance equal to 1. So we continue with both positive, and we kind of continue in the exact opposite case for x. Okay. Otherwise, this x is perfectly fine, right? Yeah, seems so. So we just move to pi +1 extra, closing moving right. Nothing changes here. And continue. I'm not sure about continue. Can it happen that I don't anymore need this big balance, so I can drop something here? And just always I can drop, I guess, a single character here or take a new one. Let's focus on dropping. Closing moving right. So before looking at the next character, I can here say something. And from extra equal to 2, I can go to extra equal to 0, I think, by dropping. I had something extra and then I lose it. So this must be at least 1. And I think that's it. I can also start something new, but that will be handled there. What if we move X here? I don't know, maybe this would be balanced, but how does it affect my solution? I never claimed that there are no tests where it's also optimal to move X. I claim that it's okay not to move X, at least I hope so. I don't forbid in my code for X to exist. Oh, and that's possible only if balance satisfies something. If balance is negative, then this was allowed. I can always say that I drop closing bracket. It shouldn't hurt. Then I possibly moved this thing along, then I dropped it. And then still opening is right. So if extra is equal to 1, then balance is at most 0. So another way to say it is, okay, I don't need another way to say it. There is opening. Maybe this should be up to balance. Or something like that. Or absolute value of balance. Now if balance is bad, then do that. Extra equal to 1 would mean that for sure balance is non-negative, but then extra equal to 1 overrides it. If balance is -5, then I need 5 opening. Opening plus closing. Okay, if balance is 5, then it's -0. Extra 0. I don't know if maybe I should switch Atcoder hard streams to the morning. I often after a day of work I feel tired, and that was the same months ago. Not sure about this. Because this setting is different from a contest. In a contest, I can focus on problems better than during such a stream, especially if I talk. I tend to even yawn because I just feel tired. I need to try mornings, or at least middle of a day. Do I use CMake? No, I don't. Now with X nothing changes, so this happens. Maybe after X I want to drop something, but this will be considered next time. If we have an opening bracket, do I need to really pick it? So the opening says how many I require. I can also, I guess, leave this be. But how can this be modified? It cannot. And finally, if closing bracket, there is also O. Then nothing, right? Moving right +1. So by default, this also keeps moving to the right. And this increased balance, so decreased something. Okay. Now after that, I need something like this thing. And I need to increase the DP values by some kind of number of steps. Java? Nope. This is comment, no, pseudocode. Okay, I can already change the title of the stream to just problem D. I wonder what's the earliest time for me to stream this. Should I do it like 12 o'clock? Then most people from Europe will not be able to see it. 15, so like 3 p.m. Maybe that's a good time. We will still be alive. Maybe. I don't care that much for other kinds of streams. I don't need to be that in that good shape. Yeah, easy problem, sure. Like, why was it so easy? Now I don't know what to code. The mistake was not to do cubic version first. It would be just easier. No. Do I increase the score of DP here in all those transitions? Also, if I have 5 opening moving to the left, 5 closing moving to the right, then how many moves do I need? There will be 5 jumps over the item, 5 jumps over the item, and also 25 jumps between those. I will multiply opening by moving right. But, oh, if I do that, then something is limited by a square root. If so, closing moving right needs to be not square root, and log n will appear. Wait, what? Square root. No, because I'm trying to say that the answer is linear, and that's not the case. Oh yeah, the answer can be quadratic, so it's perfectly fine. Oh, but that also means that DP is long type. No, because of 8000. Okay, so integer is fine. False alarm. Now I think that here I will add to the score, and also later here I allow just extra, but what about dropping? Why does it change the extra? I can close moving right without that, but the balance doesn't change. Long DP table wouldn't fit in memory. That's not something crucial. I would then just drop the dimension. What is that? 64 times 220. Well, you're right. Right now already I take half a gigabyte. But I wouldn't worry too much about memory here, compared to just the time. No idea what is happening at this point. Me neither. By moving x in between brackets, alright, but do you claim that moving brackets instead of moving x is not optimal? Why do I want those two to swap? Because there's very negative balance here and there. Okay. There will be 2 moves like this, 3 moves like that, and 6 moves in between them. But those 6 moves shouldn't be added now, because then for every O I would add 6 moves. No, when I pick up something, and I know that just after that there is a number of those moving to the left, number of those moving to the right. And this thing doesn't matter if it moves to the left or not. Yeah, no matter what. But what if there was an element here? Oh. Is there also those elements? Okay. When I'm looking at this element, no matter whether it should be moved or not, but if it's moved, then it will also grab this. Maybe at this point, when I decide that I will move element from the right here, so I'm needing something. This is close, wait, opening, moving to the left. When I increase this by 1, those 4 or 5 swaps are needed. Yeah, so If so, then it's okay, because I only move brackets. Aniket, again, do you think that my solution is wrong? If so, show some small test where you think that moving only brackets is wrong. I feel very in bad shape of my mind. I feel like that I don't think efficiently right now. And I would say that it's because I'm tired. I don't know. Feels bad. What can I do with that? Will it help me to look at the editorial? Well, assuming that this is correct, it will just confirm my thoughts. Should I maybe... Okay, let's implement cubic solution. I'm wasting time figuring out something very complicated. Let's switch to thinking about cubic, then I will improve it. Then I will improve it like what I came up here. I'm decreasing nux. Now it will be just DP of nux, where this is opening, moving left, closing, moving right. Good balance still applies. Now this is up to n, this, that, good. Balance is 0. No. Do I want to keep all of that? I'm not sure. Okay, drawing. I passed something. I'm here. Some number of those move to the right, some number of these move to the left. Should I now look at the next character? Seems reasonable. Or I can decide to drop position some elements here. I can require a new guy like this one, so I can increase this. Maybe let's rename this. This is called needed, and this is called moving. I feel like this will be better naming. I can decide here that I should go needed plus plus. I mean plus, well, it will increase plus 1. And this way I say, oh, I'm going to put here this, but I need it from the right. That's one possibility. Then I can drop one of those. So I can do moving minus minus. Those two things I can do when I'm between two characters. And then when I'm looking at this guy or this one, I can use it to do something else. So this guy can do needed minus minus because I say, oh, this is something I'm using. Alright, similarly I can do moving plus plus. I can say, oh, this guy starts moving to the right. Then using those two and the current balance, I will figure out between every two positions if this is legal or not. What do I do between positions again? I might say, hey, I am requiring this guy. How does it affect the balance? Well, it only helps if with the balance. What about this thing? I'm saying I'm stopping it here. So I had the balance already. No, it starts counting. So this guy does -1. I have the current balance. Minus moving plus needed. This is my current balance and this cannot be negative. Then whenever I do needed plus plus or moving minus minus, I help this balance, which is suspicious. Needed plus plus. So I say needed plus plus says I want to start here. That indeed does that. Moving this thing. It was moving, so instead of being here, I said, I'm moving, so this balance doesn't apply yet, but now suddenly it does apply. So if three are moving, then balance from here doesn't really work, because 3 minus 1s will actually be applied later. So this should apply -1 to the balance. So is that really minus? Shouldn't be. But at this point, I have the same balance. The number of moving elements is 2 instead of 3. This should do -1. Yeah, indeed. It's crazy and it's nice that such variations exist. Something's wrong about this sign. Or about this. Or about, I don't know, anything else. Also, you don't see it, right? Maybe let's do that with color. Blue is something between stuff, between positions. It's moving. The balance by default here was maybe 5, but I was moving 3, so actual balance right there was 2. But now I'm stopping this guy, so the balance should be 1. How do I explain that? It's the default balance from here minus just plus 2. Plus moving, of course. Plus moving. Get yourself a coffee? No, I'm now here back on the track. Just I'm solving it in cubic way. Also, I don't like coffee. Okay, so this can mess things up. So I only allow this, assuming that the balance still is at least 0. Can I do this at the same time? So can I drop one of those and start one of these? I think it doesn't matter. So let's avoid doing both of them. If really we want to do both of them, but why would you do it? Just continue the same thing. So if something moved here and then that thing moved there, and what was the point? You can as well move this around and not move at all. But wait, and then it creates this X shape. If I have this, so actually it is important that it's here, because we require the balance up to there to be at least 1. Unless you do that, it is important. Should I consider also saying that it's like multiple things here between two existing positions? I don't know, maybe. Right, and when I'm dropping such a position, like let's say the blue one, this one here, should I at this point add something? So it was moving, now stops. And let's say I add to the score the needed amount, because all of that needs to jump over. And what about moving? Moving also goes through that? That would be very strange. No, they all got here, and just the last one of them is... Okay, so when I have this, let's focus just on that, the blue thing. It does moving minus minus and score plus equal needed. Now what about this? This came from there. So it does needed plus plus, sure. And what else? When something blue will later drop here, the needed will be existing, so I shouldn't add. What if blue starts here and ends there? Then it should swap with this green, but at what point? Maybe I should say that they should be counted twice. Blue travels like this. Then goes green. It travels like that. At what point should I count this pair? If we say at this point, well, that's wrong because maybe green is strictly on the right. What's the best method? And I don't want to count it at every such position. The only case when this does not happen is if they are strictly disjoint. So what? Oh, I see they have just two common points. So when adding and when adding anything and when closing anything, I should just add to the score the number of those divided by 2, and every such pair, green-blue, will be counted twice. Well, that's some approach, I guess. Then count everything else doubled, or this thing halved. All right, so this was the thing in between two positions. And then when I'm looking at an object like this one, I also get to decide if I'm doing something with that or not. This particular thing can stop a moving object. So start. This thing can increase moving by 1. But it doesn't need to. No, it doesn't need to. No. Similarly, the opening bracket, it might decrease needed. And when do I increase the answer by something? When we go over this position. So we consider a position, and if I do nothing with it, the answer will just increase by moving and by needed, because those will jump over this guy. But if it's a closing bracket and I say, oh, that starts moving, then moving will not collide with it. Otherwise they would, which seems stupid. But maybe it was needed on the left to fix some balance equal to -1, and because of that we started moving this one. But then this thing can stop here and this one can start. Okay, so you will always start moving, maybe by 0, so maybe you will stop there. Okay. You always start moving. Similarly, this guy always increases needed by +1. Okay, that's easy. And then at this position we increase the score by needed. So then everything is just counted twice. But I will stop it in a moment. But then here in both cases needed will be counted. And that's good. All right. All right. Easy peasy. Let's implement this n-cubic solution. So first, something might want to stop here at the beginning. So already even before the first element do that, also after the last one. So I will want to go this on purpose. Now I'm looking between two positions. I'm looking between I minus 1 and I. I can do blue thing or green thing, maybe multiple times. We have DP of I, moving and needed. Because moving decreases and needed increases, I will iterate in this order. Moving decreases. I'm looking at this. And I can move to DP of still I, moving minus 1 needed. What do? I minimize, right? Min self. I will call it mini. Minus 1. This is the blue thing, which was ending the moving thing. Yeah, good. And that increases the score by needed. Easy enough, obviously only if moving is at least 1. And if needed is at most something, which I don't think I need to check, DP of I moving needed plus 1, I can say, hey, one more item is needed. Me plus similarly moving. I'm not sure if this I is correct. I hope so. Maybe a plus 1. Who knows? Who knows? All right, then look at position I, at this character, and depending on what this character is, we will do various things. If most basic thing, still I need to iterate, right? If I is equal to end and break, because that's it. Hi as a toe, chaos. Welcome to the stream, to a very difficult stream, I warn you. Mini. Look at position I. Then now the basic thing will be if this is O. And oh, also I will need to check the balance. At what point do I check the balance? I guess something happens here. This is the balance. But also there is this new thing, but I will not transition from that. Okay, that's fine. Why do I call it needed instead of need? Continue if it's negative. And if it's X, then it will be same thing. If O, then how many moves do we make here when jumping? Just moving and needed times 2. Because the other thing was halved. I'm not sure about this times 2, but it seems right. What is ampersand? Reference. This seems to be the same style. And now this I know I will start moving it. No, I will decrease needed, but then I need to assume that needed is at least 1, apparently. This starts moving immediately. Okay. I know we did something. And when does the balance change? Here? Yes, I think it's here. Why it's 3D DP? Because I needed 3 dimensions. I don't know. It's not that you look at problem and you decide it's three-dimensional DP. You think which dimensions you need. Should I also... No, moving and needed should be 0 here. This should be twice the answer. And I think it's 5% at most that this works. You know, here it's a very small test, so it might. Nice. It worked. One, 4, 6 chat. 1, 4, 6. No, what? 1, 3, 6. Do we really want to look Do you want to look? I'm genius. 136. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, I still know some coding. Hooray. Now, just get rid of one dimension. So I claim that this works if moving plus needed is equal to 0 or minus balance. Only those two values are possible. Huh, it worked. That's funny. I really didn't expect that. It was a very good idea to switch to cubic solution. And now I have a brute force. Assuming that, well, there is sample, then I will be able to compare on small tests. That's nice. If memory and the constant factor are not important, I can change this into a map, like that many maps, and only some elements would ever be accessed. I can maybe try to drop the first dimension and only use some cells here. Maybe what I should do first anyway, after saving this, is actually forcing this code to only consider states where moving plus needed is 0 or minus balance, or 1. But it's a small test. Now we can stress test. Update, and cubic works, or at least seems to work. Submit this? Sure. I can. I don't know why I typed this second time. I need to say this. Oh, but it's no point submitting to expect correct answer, but I want to see some accepted and not wrong answer. This is like extended version of samples. Well, no wrong answers. We passed one more test. Very, very small rank term, so as well it can be n equal to 1. Point of assert, because I might get wrong with undefined behavior. I might get wrong answer. Now I'm sure that runtime, not sure, I think that runtime error means assert fails. Wrong answer would mean the logic is wrong because the answer I print is wrong. Now, in this thing I allow for so many moving and needed. I increase one and decrease the other. So I kind of get away from the balance, but I can zigzag this +1, -1, and it will still be within the extra thing. Right, let's try this. The brute force is, I believe, saved. Do I need this? I don't anymore. So now it's just, you can basically now forget the solution and just try to achieve the same thing, but with one condition. Moving plus needed is constant. That it's equal to the balance +-1. Just before the change though, or after the change? That's dangerous. Oh, and here I move to I+1, so I should look at the balance after the change. So it's like balance 2. Maybe it's a good idea to say bal2 is balance plus get balance of SI. Like this, const, and you're just... I don't like the name bal2, or do I? Yeah, bal2 is fine. So this is the next balance. And when moving to DPI +1, okay, I need to use that. Yes, everything becomes clearer now. First test case this. Well, that's not very helpful. I mean, I shouldn't have submitted them. It was okay to submit, just I didn't gain much info. Right, so moving back to this is extra and moving. Yeah, could be needed as well. Let's try. Smaller than 2. No, don't iterate over that. Iterate over extra. Not necessarily in this order. I can go from moving increasingly, decreasingly, right? No, that's wrong. Only decreasingly. But I don't know how to iterate over extra. Let's write down the formula. If balance is greater than 0, then moving equal needed equal 0 equal extra. Balance is smaller equal 0, then moving plus needed is equal to minus balance plus extra. Okay. That's the thing. No, I first will just make sure that this works if I force this condition. That will be interesting. If not, balance is greater than 0 and moving is equal to 0 and needed is equal. I know how to simplify it. Or balance is smaller equal 0 and moving plus needed is equal to minus balance plus extra. There is no extra. Then this is 0 or 1. But well, this is just 0 in that case. And here I want to say this is 1 or 0. If not this, then continue. Obviously, this will be a function in a moment. What do you want? Who is back from vacation? Momo Isk is back from vacation. Hi, Momo Isk. How was your vacation? Yeah. But I'm also back. That's right. I want this to make this a function. It will be slightly different from the balance 2. execution fault. Why? What did they change? What did I change? No, this 68. Good. Now with this 68. Fine. And fine. The check holds. Then from balance 2, I will check that for I plus 1. Good, good, good. Next to 30. Yeah, that was wrong. Something unpleasant, but I will do it today. I will. No, moving. When this happens, also should I try to create one moving and to remove one needed? I mean, the other way around. Does it make sense? Create one moving, so no, decrease. So stop something here, and just after that or just before that say that something is required. Seems stupid. So maybe not needed. But normally we decrease moving, increase needed. And when you decrease moving, extra will go from 1 to 0 possibly. But when you increase needed, it's the other way around. Moving cannot increase though, can it? Can moving increase? No, moving cannot increase. So for sure moving will go from I down to 0. And now I will make something crazy. Ugly hack. Like that. Because I don't know the order. I think that extra should be the third dimension. It will match the previous solution more. The previous code. When I decrease moving by 1, I increase needed. And I just need a formula for needed. What's the formula for needed? If this, then 0, otherwise minus balance plus extra minus moving. Or needed is smaller than 0. So I consider decreasing moving by 1, or I consider increase needed by 1. Which can only be achieved by increasing extra. Like that. And how do I decrease extra? I can decrease moving. So this should say and extra is equal to 1, and this will move to 0. It seems so. And now indeed this allows me to zigzag through. From moving 0 I move to moving 1, from this moving minus 1 0. Yeah. Right. So first step done, I think. Look at position I. Balance 2 is needed, sure. And then this stays. Yes, because I just moved to that. For extra in just 0 1 this time. Oh, also I now realize, I now know in what order. I can move from 0 to 1. From 1 to 0 I anyway move to moving minus 1, so it's exactly this order. If me greater equal inf or needed is smaller than 0. I check this. Should I also check this above? Did I check that earlier? Yes, I did. So I should do it here. Same thing. And extra might change here. Because balance might change. No, balance doesn't change in this case. Same story here. That doesn't require anything. Just move to extra. And now the difficult part. Needed decreases by 1. So extra decreases by 1. So this is legal only if extra is equal to 1, I believe. Well, or there is that other case. And here, moving increases by 1. Wait, here. Balanced increases by 1. So this decreases by 1. So I don't need to change anything, do I? Let's Control Z that. Balance increases by 1 and needed decreases by 1. Okay, so it stays the same. Just extra. Then in this case, moving increases by 1 and balance decreases by 1. Again, extra stays, which is suspicious that here extra doesn't change at all. $102 needed. Obviously, that's extra. What do you say about that? Well, submit. No time to think. I don't want to test it because I will risk realizing that it's wrong. And we don't want that, right? Wrong answer. It's a very quick one. What was the duration for this contest? Does it matter? 2 hours and a half. You don't test, you believe it works? I hoped it works like that. I hoped. Why am I so not centered? Did it pass anything other than the first 4? Whoa! It passes a lot. I don't know if I should be happy or not. But then the previous solution might be wrong and it just got time limit exceeded on those. Okay, this is scary. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. It might mean that my solution, just my idea, is wrong. And because of big times, all of this is are big tests. Notepad and submit. Why Notepad? Just you can implement in browser. That, you know, at the bottom below problem statement. WA, that's right, wrong answer. No, it passed a lot of tests, which makes me think that often I find the optimal thing, but sometimes I don't, which might mean, sadly, that I don't do some step that is required. Okay, easy choice now. Stress testing. Do I have generator here? I do. That's good. Something of length, but also it needs to be even. 2 up to 10. Opening, closing XO of random of those. If balance is equal to 0, then good. So just print S. What? Oh, and at least one of those. I see. That's just an invalid test. There must be at least one opening bracket. There was brute D, right? Now we can compare D with brute D. That was fast. But brute D, I think, prints the answer doubled. Yeah. That's very slow because of array sizes. Is this a valid test? Yes, that's great. That's the best thing I could see. Because it means just the answer is complete garbage and it will be easier to debug. This is what? Half the infinity, right? So I didn't find a possibility to achieve whatever is needed. Great. That's great. I will try to simplify it. I also should have asserted that this modulo 2 is 0, but that's fine. Hack this, so let's remove O. Still wrong. Let's remove X, still wrong. Let's remove those, works. Let's remove this, doesn't work. Nice, this is amazing. What about that? Still doesn't work. What about this? What? Am I running a correct file? Okay, that's a nice counter test. That's a very nice counter test. The issue might be this. If balance is greater than 0, that it seems very dangerous that I say moving and needed is equal to 0 because I temporarily force taking those. What if I say here extra? No, because that just needed. I think temporarily moving and needed can be for a moment 0. Why am I so happy? Because I found a counter test. I possibly saved hours of debugging. Yeah, I believe that it's an issue that balance is positive and I force needed and moving to be 0, even though when I see opening or closing bracket here in those two cases, I actually increase them by 1 and then I cannot move from this state. So always if there is closing bracket and the balance is positive, that's something wrong. That didn't help. I just allow doing nothing. Oh. Maybe I need to think more about this. It's pretty bad that this formula isn't true if balance is positive. Maybe I should force it to be true as well. What if I say here minimum of 0 and balance? Maybe this will fix it. Scary. This means to get rid of something needed. That I'm guessing. Let's maybe think what I want to happen. Previously it was DP of, well, moving is 0, needed is 0. Then temporarily this happens, needed is 1, because just in a moment I will need this guy. Balance is still 0. Then I'm looking at this position and moving is 0, needed is 0, balance becomes 1. Then I'm between two positions, temporarily this, and that's already not allowed by my code, at least the previous version. Then moving is 0, needed is 0, balance is 2. And then something with closing brackets. And then nothing between those two, then moving is this, and then I'm looking at this position. And between positions, and so on. It would be nice if moving and needed can be 0 or 1. But I think I achieve exactly that if I say min of 0 and balance. The only thing that might be wrong, no, that's not wrong. This might mess up balance too, and how I use it. Oh, I see, I left this thing. This is what I want. Come on. 1, that's not quite right, but I think that should still be allowed. 0, no, what did I do? I allowed doing nothing, but that shouldn't be really needed. And it messed up something badly. So this thing was important after all. At least for this big sample. Still, I am close, I'm sure. If balance is 1, then nothing. And in the moment we'll get balance down to 0. But we will then start moving this new guy. It will be fine. Update for everybody who maybe joined this, the stream recently. I am solving this very hard problem from Atcoder. Link is in the description, and in Twitch if you type !link this thing. I got n-cube solution, which I hope is right. Now improved it to n². I see a test where it doesn't work, and it's a very simple test. And I'm debugging. I'm debugging this. The counter test being just open, open, close, close. And I see what is wrong, what is suspicious at least. Here, that balance doesn't change, so whatever, sure. If needed is 0, continue. Is that right? I don't like this. What if I just decrease this? I don't think that's right, but maybe. Okay, it worked. So I spent that almost 20 minutes just because of this. I should have just removed it. Nice. I don't understand why this works. Why this is right. Why I shouldn't remove this. I mean, I'm able to understand it, but well, I didn't expect that. That was a difficult DP problem. Lesson for the future: it's okay to write a cubic solution first. Oof. Easy, easy. Yes, exactly. They have only 2 dimensions, right? It seems they have some more analysis to avoid that. We have other solutions. Do we need mean now? Mean? Where we need? Oh, in this formula, the mean, yeah, it's not needed. It doesn't do anything because this is triggered only when balance is positive. So sure, I can drop it. This I think is equivalent, but I don't want to resubmit. Whatever. I want to understand their solution. They focus on those heavily. So they distinguish the case with 0. And there is balance. I had similar thoughts closer to the beginning of solving the problem. That maybe we should heavily focus on balance equal to 0. I don't know why they don't post codes. They should. Once again, volley. Number of those are equal so far. So for this thing, the volley is first empty thing, and then I would say here. Wait, what is T? Oh, T is the optimal thing, what we can get. All right. And then in T, they look at T, this properly handled brackets, just brackets. They say here, there are 3 volleys, and they, for OXO, they will know where they get. Shouldn't X be inside? X cannot be here because it will go below 1. Oh, to make the height of the middle X 1 or above, we need to move the brackets at both ends. I don't understand that. When I'm older, I will not anymore think about solutions of Atcoder problems. I will just try to at least understand their editorials, and that already will be a challenge. Longest stream? Oh no, by far this is not the longest stream. I had several hour streams, and even with hard problems I had streams going more than 3 hours for sure. This is just 2 hours and a half almost. And I have this a lot when reading editorials on Atcoder, that, I don't know, maybe code would be useful, something. What is this? X cannot be here. Why then they want to fix it? So X will not be at one of positions by stars. I guess they mean after we move brackets around, X currently is in one of those positions. Okay, but why? How do you know that? How do you find out those stars? I understand why X will not be here, because like it's stupid to move everything to the right of this X. But so what? We need to separately solve a problem, handle just brackets and figure out in what interval this fixed position X can be. Let me read this again. I mean, I understand that their solution, the problems are very difficult, so editorials should be hard to understand, but often even after I solve a problem and I get a lot of insights, still I look at this and I don't understand. Maybe I just don't spend enough time on the editorial. So I understand that there is interval of stars. How do we find it? If O or X is on position -5, I know exactly how high it will become. Whoa. That's useful. Again, I thought about something like this, but I didn't agree with this fully. So if O is initially at level -5, at balance -5, and we notice that every swap of bracket with it improves its height by 1, then I'm sure it will be 5 or 6 times swapped with something. 6 if there is a nearby X. So maybe there is something traveling to a nearby X, but then I think yes, and this is why I dropped this idea. Discuss with other competitive programmer. Is there somebody in the chat who knows a solution, who understands this? I would need to ask them to also read the editorial and be confused. It's not. I don't want to ask somebody, hey, explain me your solution. I want to understand this one. Yes, I had this idea. I didn't know which one, so I dropped the idea. Am I very late? Yes, you are. Narwhal submission. Is it the same as the one with from the editorial? Oh, and that was just problem D. There is still E. Do I want to understand it? I don't think I want that. That's not a shortcode. Yeah, and I don't see how I should even understand that this is equivalent to the editorial solution. So should I be happy that I solved the problem, or should I be sad that I don't understand this solution? Okay, I don't think it's fun for the stream for me to look at the solution, so my strategy will be, if I have time and will, today or tomorrow, I will get back to this myself outside of the stream, and maybe I will understand it, maybe not. During streams I will care about getting accepted mostly. Yay. Okay, goal for this year. This. All of that. 41 forward. The number of problems is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is wrong answer or what? 1, 2. This I solved. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's count only those E, F, D. So fewer than 20. We have 3 months left. I need to solve 6 problems a month. Streams are not enough for that. I cannot solve more than 1 E or F problem per stream. Why is life so hard? Did you solve the problem? Yes, I did. Okay, but I will try. This is the goal. This year, everything marked. But likely what will end up happening is I will solve everything but problems F. Better to try Circ. I guess I would feel better. I don't know, maybe I should try sometimes problems F outside of the stream then. Alright, hope you all enjoyed this suffering of mine. Especially for the first hour. I feel like the first hour was very boring. Like I didn't feel active, I didn't feel productive. Then once I said, okay, let's do N cubic, from now on everything was smooth. I looked destroyed. I think I looked more destroyed after the first hour. Now I'm happy. I was happy that I came up with something, that cubic worked. Then I found a small counter test. There was no 20 minutes of being stuck and do sad. No, just the first hour was bad. I was doodling around here like this on this slide. I was doing random stuff. But good to know that there is easier solution. No. Join the Discord server if you want. And I don't guarantee that Atcoder hard streams will be every week. This Saturday and this Sunday I'm making 2 Codeforces related streams. So there will be on Saturday midday Codeforces problems of the week or something like that, and on Sunday some topic stream, like for example segmentary, something like that. And I think the idea is also that this Saturday problems of the week, actually it will be problems of 2 weeks. Sometimes it will be division 1, sometimes division 2, because I want every stream to be for like limited audience, not just all over the place. So let's say this week it will be division 2, okay, this Saturday. So then next week it will be division 1 problems only. So like it can be from CodeChef, just same level of difficulty. I think that will be much better for you to watch and to gain something. You will know whether you want to watch or not, or you will waste time. Versus random-ish problems, random order of problems, that's bad. You will not be able to follow up follow along with hard problems, and easy problems will be too easy. So it will be this. Next week it will be problems of the week division 1, and because every 2 weeks actually there are problems of each division, then to be honest it will be problems of past 2 weeks. ABC ARC, and they are good, but I don't want to solve random problems. I'm switching from streams of random problem solving to this problems of the week format. This Saturday it will be problems of the week division 2. So recent problems from Codeforces, Atcoder, CodeChef from division 2 that are nice. Next Saturday it will be this. Sunday I will try to make 2 streams every weekend, unless I'm busy with other stuff. Saturday midday it will be problems of the week. Sunday evening it will be topic stream, so a lecture. That's, I think, the most valuable thing to do. and just sometimes around Wednesday I will do Atcoder hard. Or maybe something else instead if I don't feel like solving very hard problems. I'm also using the, I will show you the survey from Discord server. The majority of people said, 44 people said that they want topic streams. And then, so this is first place easily. And then second place is CP problems of the week, ICPC preparation, and slightly later Atcoder hard and Olympiad prep. While people don't like chatting, boring streams, research reading code forces blogs, and lead code is in the middle. Also, I keep in mind that these are preferences of my Discord server members, not viewers in general, because in general Atcoder hards get fewer views, so which is obvious. Fewer people can watch that and gain something. I will join and vote ICPC now. All right, you can do that. Again, thank you everybody for watching, for helping me and motivating me to actually finish. Real algo expert, oh, thank you. But can you reverse the linked list, or what was that? Binary tree? What do they reverse in the ad? One of those two. They reverse something. I can reverse stuff.